All right, I think we're live now. I think we're finally live. I see we're live. I think we're finally live. All right, greetings YouTube. The doctor is in. Dr. Urias Papers here coming at you with another commentary on Dungeons and Dragons. Don't forget to hit that subscribe button. If you like this video, hit the like button. If you have any questions or comments, please leave a question or comment. All right, it is our first stream for the channel, and it is our first D23. We're going to construct the first room of our D23, and this is the first room of what is called the Wish Engine. So if you went back and you looked at my previous video, and I'll put the link down below for our previous video, that was going to be our little background. Let me see if I can pull that up here. I think it's in here somewheres. Let's see. We're going to pull up. No, we're going to pull up that, and we're going to pull up that, and we're going to pull up. There it is, D23 challenge. We're going to pull this up. We're going to move this over here. And okay, make sure that's showing correctly. It is. All right. So we had our D23 challenge. We're going to be creating a room every day for the next 365 days. 18 rooms is going to be a dungeon level. And when we hit 20, and then there's going to be 20 different levels after 365 days. Today is day 1. We're going to use Incarnate. You may have seen that already on the map. And we're going to be using D&D Beyond and some Kobold press material. And we're going to be using the DMG for traps and Xanthar's Guide to Everything for traps revisited. I'm also going to be opening a few of the other things to look at. Some of the mechanics behind designing encounters and things from the Dungeon Master's Guide, and Xanthar has some good stuff too. We are also this is our kind of our story background. There is this wizard named Azruel Zahn. He is a lawful evil conjuration wizard, and he has discovered this this particular magic in the multiverse that he wants to use to reshape reality, called the Wish Magic, and he has created this device called the Wish Engine, which is a massive dungeon complex that is constructed particularly by him using smaller amounts of wish magic that he has that absorbs magic of all kinds, and once it has been powered properly, he can unleash it upon the multiverse, and he can rewrite reality in the way that he wants. So we're doing one room per day via live stream. That's what we're doing right now. And if we can't do a room, then we will go ahead and do a couple of rooms at the same time. So we're going to click out of this. That is the dungeon. Okay, so here is our first room that we're going to be using. I'm using Incarnate. I've already kind of created this room. And then in addition to that, we're also going to be using Word. I have a particular format that I write all of my encounters in and things. You see here, I'm going to fill in the background as we go through. We went over the background a little bit, but I'm going to be filling that out. I'll be doing that on my own, so that'll appear in the next video. And then there really isn't an overview for this because it's 365 different rooms and 20 different levels. So we're going to kind of leave the background, the overview alone. But whenever I write an adventure, I always kind of go through each scene of the adventure, and I put in the overview first, so I know kind of what's going to happen with each different scene of each different adventure. And then we're on room 1. I have a little thing about what it is. So this room is going to be the entry hall. We don't really have a date and time. There's no weather, so we'll write none for weather. And then I want to do a kobold theme for the first level of this dungeon, and there's um, lots of different options for kobolds, especially if we use some of the kobold press stuff. So we're going to use a kobold theme right now, and I haven't decided what we're going to put in the first room. And these are going to be made for parties of 5, so 5 PCs at average party level 1. And so we have to adjust it for less than 5. So you see here it's 3 to 4 PCs. We're actually going to do this for APL 1, 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 a lot of APL 1s, and finally APL 1. So we move up the scale a bit when we are going to adjust this for higher than APL. We got first level characters. This is going to be made for 5 first level characters, so that means it's an average party level of 3. If we have 3 to 4 players that are above average party level 1, then they will go into average. If they're equal to 1 at 3 to 4, then they will be weak or very weak. So we kind of make adjustments as to what is, and there really isn't a rule set for how to make those adjustments. You just make them. So we make things a little bit more difficult or a little bit easier based off of the party dynamic that is there. So with that, we are going to go ahead and we're going to go ahead and look at the room here. Now with Incarnate, I want to put a couple of pillars in this room, and I want to put some doors coming into the room. So the other thing I'm going to kind of do in the background is put it in the setting as to how characters know about this dungeon, what's their motivation, or what's the hook, line, and sinker for them to get in. So I'll add those into the background as well. Why would they be coming here? That's kind of the hook. I'm envisioning, because it's a kobold theme, that this dungeon actually exists on the plane where the player characters are, and they will, maybe the kobolds are raiding a village, and the player characters have been hired by this local village or local town to go and investigate this. Whereas maybe Azruel Zahn has put the kobolds here, or he has control over them, or something within this level has control over them that's being controlled by this wizard, and they have standing orders to have these kobolds come out. So this is not going to be like, it's going to be a kobold lair, but it's not going to be like their home, like where there's going to be, women and children kobolds. This is going to be for kobold warriors. It's going to be their base of operations where they are raiding, and they're doing raiding on settlements around the area for something that's in here. I haven't decided what is going to be like the boss of this level, but it's going to be something that is controlling the kobolds. So I want to put a door. So maybe, there's an abandoned an abandoned tower, or an abandoned keep or castle somewhere in the wilderness, and there's a door that goes in underneath, and it goes to the basement of this, and that's where this is. So let's go to the stamp tool. We're going to open the catalog, and there's a whole bunch of stuff in here that we can get, but there's doors in here, so we gotta I'm gonna type in door, and we got elven doors, we got dwarven. The dwarven doors looks good. That's a beamless stone door, so we may use that. Gothic doors. We got Victorian panel doors. Snake molding doors. We got graveyard. We got a pirate door, which looks warped. I don't like the way that looks. We got prison doors, snow and ice, tavern doors. I think I like these dwarven stone doors, so we're gonna go ahead and do that. We're gonna put them down, but we need to we need to make them a little bit smaller, so we're going to make them 50% size here. And let's see, does that, I want to make double doors, so let's make them, see what 25 does here. And we can zoom in on the, so we need to make them a little bit bigger. Let's make them at 30. I want to get them so that they are the width of this room here. So that looks about right. Okay, we'll put one there. And we want to rotate it around. Let's put this one here. I'm not sure I wanted to do that. And then we're gonna move it down to here. And we're gonna flip it. I don't think that worked. Nope. That worked. Okay, let's do the other one. Let's flip that one. There we go. Okay, so we got doors in there now. And I want to put a couple of pillars in. So I'm thinking about putting pillars here, here, and then like something that the kobolds can hide behind. So let's go back to the stamp tool here. We'll open the catalog back up and I'll type. We're going to click out of that and we'll type pillar in and see what we come up with here. Okay, we got elven pillars. There's a core. Wooden pillars. Is that a pillar? It's the wall. Elven pillars, fey pillars, gothic pillars. Okay, we've got a catacomb pillar. We've got a rayonnant pillar, just a pillar, sewer pillars. We got temple pillars. I think we'll use these graveyard pillars here. And we want to make these bigger. Let's make these at 50 because I want them to take up a whole square. I got a grid on here already. And yep, that's perfect. Okay, we'll put one there. Put one there. We'll put one there. Put one there. I want to spread them out a little bit to give things room. We'll put one there. And we'll put one there. So that gives us 6. And if I want, I can actually select these and I can change some of the like offset of, let's not do this one. Let's do this one here because we can see that one a little bit better. So if I do the intensity of the shadow, you can see that shadow come out a little bit more. I can change the offset of it horizontally, and we want to do that, and I can cause it to be more blurry. That's pretty cool. I like that. So that looks really good. Okay, let's do that for each one of them then. So we're going to make it a little bit more blurry. We're going to offset it. I want to move this over so I can see this a little bit better. And let's go with the select tool. We're going to hit black. Oh, we want to do the intensity. There, that's what I wanted right there. And we want to offset it. And there we go. That's what we want. And we want really, there we go. Okay. And let's do the same thing to this one. Want to offset it there, almost like right there, and then we want to make it really increase the intensity. Okay, that looks really. Oh, this one is a little bit. What do we got? Oh, we made it very. Oh, we didn't make it as. Okay, let's make it that. Okay, and then we're gonna increase the intensity all the way up. Do a little bit that, and then we're going to increase this quite a bit. Okay, and that makes it look shadowy, and so we can put some kobolds behind that. Intensity up. We're going to increase that, and we're going to increase increase that almost all the way up. And last one, we're going to do intensity up, horizontally over just a little bit, and then we're going to increase it. Okay, that looks really good. Okay, I think that looks pretty good right there. So there's some nice shadow. I think we're going to take this one and we're going to move it down just a little bit there. Okay. And we'll do the same thing to this one. We'll move the shadow down just a little bit here. Okay. That looks really good. Okay. Now that we've gotten that, we got the doors in, and we got our pillars in. Now we want to create some doors coming out of the room. So I'm just going to copy and paste a door here, and we're just going to put the doors in the same place. We're going to put them over here, and so there's a little doorknob right there, and we're going to do the same thing to the other door down here. We're going to select it, and we're going to copy and paste, and then we're going to move it all the way up. And let's zoom all the way in, hit the select button, and put it right there. Okay, very good. All right, that's good. So now we got doors on either end in this room. The room is all, I'm happy with the room. So if we go and we do a description of the room itself, let's see, what do we want to write here? Upon entering this, how big is this room? It's a 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30, 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30, 35, 40, 45, 50. It's a 30-foot wide, 50-foot long room. So upon entering this 30-foot wide and 50-foot long entry hallway, you see, so we're gonna, and we'll like put this in quotations, or we'll put this in italics or something after that. So you see an empty space, you see 6 stone pillars that stretch from floor to ceiling. Amongst the pillars, you see, so I don't foresee the kobolds being too smart. There's going to be kobolds in this room, but I don't foresee them being too smart to like actually hide. You see 6 stone pillars. I don't foresee them being smart enough to hide their presence completely. So they're going to be in here, and they might just scatter as soon as the PCs open the door. And I imagine the door, let's say the door, the double doors to this chamber, the double stone doors are locked. So let's say they are locked, and let's call that a DC. We're going to make this, so if you go to the Dungeon Master's Guide, source, Dungeon Master's Guide, there is in here, there's a table somewhere in here that says how difficult things are for characters. I can't remember where that is, but I know there is one, and a DC 10 is usually like a medium. So we're going to call this a DC 11 Dex. Let's see, we're going to call this a DC 11 Dex Thieves Tool check, or a DC 11 Strength Athletics check. There we go. Athletics check. So either one of those will open it up. And then they go in the room. Okay, so there we go. So we got the double doors are locked. So this kind of gives a introductory PCs kind of a dilemma on what they need to do to the doors. There's double doors. They're locked. Perhaps they're going to check for traps. I'm not going to put any traps on it right now, but they are locked, so they have to figure out how to open them up. It's not a super hard check to open them. So once they come in amongst the pillars, you see small bits of rubble and dust on the floor. Within the dust, you easily spot footprints from the limited light, because there's not going to be any light in here. In this unlit room, there's not going to be any light because kobolds have dark vision, so they're not going to have any light at your disposal. So they're not going to have any light, so there won't be any light. So the characters are going to come in. They're either going to have light or they're going to have dark vision. They're going to see the room itself, and then they're going to bring their light source out or their dark vision out, and it's not going to be hard to see these footprints. And we're going to call this so survival, I believe, is the skill that we have to use to identify footprints. So let's go here to, that's a wisdom check. So ability checks, skills, wisdom is survival. So they're going to see these right away. Follow tracks. So this is going to be identify signs, blah, blah, blah. So they're going to go ahead and they can use survival. And we're going to call this a DC 11 wisdom survival check to identify the tracks as originating from kobolds. Okay. And within it, you easily spot footprints from the limited light at your disposal. Okay, so this is the beginning of a paragraph, so we're going to go 1, 2, 3, and then we're going to make all of this bold and italicized. So that's the box text that the PCs are going to see. Also, let's see. Also, you will spot let's put some bones and things in here. Small bits of bones. Small bits of discarded bones. So the kobolds are in here, they're on guard, and they may be eating something, and they'll throw the bones down. So, okay. And so we're going to go down to the actual. So this is the not the box text that gets read to the PC. So within the room are, and then so this is the point where we're going to go and we're going to look at the design part of the dungeon. So there is some good tools within the Dungeon Master's Guide for creating encounters. So we're looking at first level characters. We want to make basically a medium adventure, and we're doing it for 5. So that means that it's 50 experience points per character, and if it's 5, it's 250. And so that's what we're so this gives you kind of the example for 3 third level characters and 1 second level character. But we're doing for 5, so it's going to be 250. And if we do that, then we have to multiply. There's a multiplier that comes into that too, encounter multiplier. There's another good source here in Xanthar's about creating encounter building. And I like to use this one as well. So Solar Monster Challenge Rating. So first level characters, if there's 5 of them, they can do a Challenge Rating 2 creature. Maybe a Challenge Rating 3 for a harder encounter. And then for multiple monsters, 1st through 5th level, a character of, so a challenge rating 1, 5 can take that on 5 characters to 1 creature. For a challenge rating 1/8. So if it's a challenge rating 1/4, then there's 5 creatures. That's the way it goes. If it's an 1/8, then there's 10. There's 2 for every 1 PC. So if we look at game rules, we want to look at monsters, and we're just going to type in kobold here, and that'll give us, so there's your basic standard kobold is a 1/8, so we would put 10 kobolds in there. That seems a little excessive, but they got 5 hit points each, and they got pack tactics, so that can be pretty deadly for first level characters. But we've got a XP bonus of 250. Remember, we went back to that and said 50 per PC, so it's 250, and that's why it says basically 10 of these. So there are some other kobolds in here as well. So we've got this kobold inventor from Morden Cadence. He's a 1/4, so he counts as 2. And maybe we'll put him in here as well. We'll put one of these kobold inventors in here. There's a kobold scale sorcerer. That's a 1. So if we put that in there, that's it. That's all we're putting in there. I think that one's worth 200, yeah. And then there's, I don't have that one. There's a kobold vampire, and there's wing kobolds as well. So those are also worth 2 of the regular kobolds. Now, in addition, I haven't actually went through and looked at this yet. I thought I had this open already. I think I closed this out. In addition, there is some stuff in the I haven't even looked through the Tomb of Beasts 3 yet, which just came out, but we're going to go ahead and look through that right now. And let's bring that over here. Let's bring that over so we can see that Tomb of Beasts 2. We want to do this. There we go. Okay. And they usually put kobold options in here. I haven't even looked to see if there's any kobold options. Ah, there are. Look at that. So we got 252. Let's go to that. Kobold Drake Rider. Okay. That is a challenge rating 3, so we will not be doing that. And that looks like that's the kobold on a drake. Drake mount has formed a bond regardless of the drake. So I guess we'd have to look and see. So that it comes with the drake. So we won't be doing that. We got a Kobold Empyrean, which is a challenge rating 10. So no, we will not be using that at all. That looks like they've got, oh, they're Celestial. Okay, and a Kobold Monster Hunter, Lawful Neutral. So these look like they're good kobolds. This is a challenge rating 11. No, we won't be doing that. And a Leviathan Hunter, which is a kobold. That's a challenge rating 10. No, we won't be doing that. A Plains Hunter kobold. These look like very kind of different kinds of kobolds than what I'm used to seeing, where they're like where they're all mixed up. Okay, so we've got all right, so that's not going to be it. And we got a Kobold Sapper, which is a challenge rating 3. I don't think we're going to be using that. And that's it. Okay, so that's the last one. So we won't be using Tomb of Beasts 3. Now, there's some options for kobolds in Tomb of Beasts 1. Let's bring that over here. And I think there's some kobold options in each one of these. And where are the kobolds in here? I thought there were kobolds in here. Ah, there they are, 261 kobolds. So there's the Kobold Alchemist, which is a challenge rating 2. We won't be using that. Kobold Chieftain, which is a challenge rating 4. We definitely won't be using that. And then Kobold Trapsmith. I've used these before. They're fun. They're challenge rating 1s. We won't be using that. They've got this shredder thing that they can throw, which blows up and does 46 damage. Okay, that's the kobolds from that, so we won't be using any of those. Tomb of Beasts 2. Let's bring that over. And there's some kobold options in this as well. Let's move this to fit one page. Kobold options here are Kobold Spell Clerk and Kobold War Machine. This is a half. So we could put one of these in here too. These count as 3, I think. 3 kobolds. And what do they have? They have a spellcasting option for Firebolt and Sleep. That could be pretty nasty. And then we got a Kobold War Machine. We definitely won't be putting that in. That's a challenge rating 9. Okay, this is Tomb of Beasts 2. And let's see what's in Creature Codex. That's the other book here for kobolds. And I think there's some kobold options in here as well. Yeah, there are. So we've got an Elite Kobold, which is a challenge rating 1. We've got a Junk Shaman Kobold, which is a challenge rating 2. We've got the Kobold King. So maybe the Kobold King is the boss in here. That would be a little excessive. And then we've got a Swobold Kobold. So maybe the boss is a Swobold Kobold. And that's a challenge rating 3. And then we've got a Kobold Wizard, which is a challenge rating 5. Actually, that might not be too bad either. And okay, so that's it. So I think we're just going to do some regular kobolds. These 1/8 kobolds, and then we'll put a Kobold Inventor in here as well. So if we go back to sources, and I want to look at Xanthars for multiple things, encounter building. So we're a solo for first level, 5 first level, we can get a challenge rating 3, probably would be something difficult, or a challenge rating 4 would be extremely difficult for them. So we think we'll go with maybe a 4. So for 1st through 5th level characters, if we put a quarter rating thing in here, that counts as one of the characters, and then we're allowed 4 more, so that'll be 8 kobolds, 8 more kobolds. So let's do that. That's what we're going to do. So we'll do, so within the room are 8 kobolds. Let's see if anybody has gotten any comments or anything. I haven't seen anything as of yet. No, we got 7 views, 2 likes, and just no comments yet. So I don't know why the picture of the stream looks odd. I can see it on another. I'm looking at another thing, and the stream looks fine. Okay, so within the room are 8 kobolds, and 1 kobold inventor. All are hiding amongst the pillars as they have heard the PCs trying to open the double stone doors. Yeah, so the PCs are going to open the doors either way. They're either going to pick the lock or they're going to bash the doors open, which is going to cause noise, obviously. So it's not, you can't necessarily pick a lock quietly. And then the doors are going to open. You know, the doors are not necessarily quiet when they're open. They're stone doors, so they're going to grind on the ground as they open up. So the kobolds are going to scatter, and they're going to hide amongst the stone doors. Let's see if we can find any monster stamps. I don't think there are any in here. I'm gonna have to save this as a PDF. So there's a save option up here in Incarnate, which is right here, save, and then we can actually export it as an image, and then I can put it in a different program, and I can actually put things in here. But we're gonna open the catalog up. We're gonna close this out, and we're gonna look at, let's see, monster. Maybe I can just put some, yeah, there's some things in there. Let me see if I got kobold. I don't think there's anything in here, no. Let's just look at everything that's in here. We got camp. I don't think there's a lot of creature options in here. There's statues, there's dolls. The only thing I don't like about Incarnate is there's a lot of really cool stamps to put things in. Like we got Kneeling Knights, but there's not a lot of like monsters to put in. They don't have a very big catalog of like creatures and things to put in the rooms. But there are a lot of like other things that we can put in. Let's see here. Maybe we'll get those Kneeling Knights. Is that it? That's it. Wow. Yeah, that's it. Okay. So let's go back up here. I saw Kneel. So we're going to put the Kneeling Knights in. What's in the Orc bundle? It's not in there. Let's go to the whole thing. Okay, where were those Kneeling Knights at? Kneeling Knights. I think they were right here. So we'll put these, there's one here, 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 here. There's 6. I think we'll just put 6 kobolds in here for now. And then we need to get one for the inventor, the boss creature. Because I think 6 kobolds and the kobold inventor is probably enough for the for first level PCs for their very first encounter what is that thing? Egyptian statues. We can put that in there just to represent a kobold inventor, maybe. Yeah, let's put that in there. And we'll put that over there. So let's look at the kobolds and the Egyptian, the kobold inventor. Let's look at those again. Kobold. Okay, so we got kobolds. So kobolds have a dagger and a sling attack, so they do all have ranged attacks. And we've got the kobold inventor, who he's got a weapon invention. The kobold uses one of the following options. The kobold can use each one no more than once per day. Choose one or roll a d8. So, that's an action. So he's got 8 options. The kobold can use each one no more than once per day. So they've got 8 options. So he's got some kind of bag. He's got an acid flask. He's got an alchemist fire. He's got a basket full of centipedes. I think there's a picture. Yeah, there it is. There it is. So he's got all kinds. He's got bugs flying around him. He's got this scorpion staff thing, a green slime pot, rot grub pot, scorpion on a stick. There's the stick. He's got the skunk in a cage, and he's got a wasp nest in a bag. So we'll go ahead and that will be in there as well. He's got 13. So he doesn't have too much health. They all have a pretty bad armor class. Armor class of 12 is not great. And the kobolds all have an armor class of 12 as well with 5 hit points. So pretty much if they get hit, they're going to go down from any character. So we'll put that in there. And I think so they're going to be hiding, obviously. Now, one of the other things that you have to keep in mind when you make a encounter is you have to make sure that there's enough room for everything. So there's going to be, we're not going to do that anymore. So there's going to be some room outside the door somewhere for the PCs once they enter the room. The kobolds aren't going to do anything until the PCs actually start coming in the room, so maybe until they get up to like around the first, and then there's going to be a perception check. So they're all going to be hiding. So what is a kobold's stealth? They have a +2, so we'll just say if the kobolds are stealthy, kobolds each have a stealth check of 12 for passive perception mechanics for the first round of combat. Okay, so the kobolds will not attack any intruders until they enter the chamber or are attacked in turn. So they won't actually do anything until somebody steps in or until they are attacked. So if the PCs open the door, there's a passive perception. Some of them are actually going to see the kobolds, some of them are not. So if we use the rules in the Dungeon Master's Guide for, actually they're in the player's handbook for combat, you will see them right here. The order of combat, step-by-step combat, determine surprise. So a band of adventurers sneaks up, a band of can't. So in this case, it's our kobolds. And we have a stealth check for them, which is their dexterity stealth check, which is 12. We compare that to the passive perception of the PCs. Any of the characters' monsters doesn't know that the threat is surprised at the start of the encounter. So that some of the PCs are going to go and some of the PCs are not. And if any of the PCs are actually stealthing before they come in the room, then the same thing is going to happen. Some of the PCs Some of the kobolds will get to go, and some of the kobolds will not get to go. All right. Well, that is our first stream and our first room. I think we're done at this point. That is pretty much it. Kobolds will fight to the death and not surrender because they have been given orders by the boss of the dungeon not to. At the back of the room is a set of double stone doors, very similar to the entryway doors. These doors are locked. DC 11, either a Dex, Thieves, Tool, or Strength Athletics. To open. Okay, that's it. I appreciate everybody tuning in, and we should be on tomorrow around the same time.